My name is Terrell. I am the Educational Transition Coordinator here at Wayne State University. It is a program here at Wayne State University that is a research program. It's a pilot program funded by the Michigan Justice Fund in coordination with Wayne State University. And the program is led by two deans here at the university, one of which is Steffi Hartwell, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and the other is Dr. Cheryl Kubiak of the School of Social Work. In 1986 through 88, I was a student here at Wayne State University. I actually became a fraternity member here at Wayne State University, a Phi Eta Psi fraternity. And in the year of 1988, my grandmother's home was broken into, and she was injured in that process. I was living with her at the time. Once I learned about the break-in and injury of my grandmother, I also learned about the person that had committed the crime on my grandmother irrationally. I reacted in the way of being vengeful. I ultimately took his life that same day that he did what he did, which is still no justification. And that crime, that homicide, got me incarcerated from the years of 15 to 30 years incarceration. And I did 15 years of that 15-year to 30-year incarceration, incarcerated in the Michigan Department of Corrections. That act extracted me from Wayne State University and completing the degree that I was pursuing at that time. So having done those 15 years of incarceration, I was ultimately released. And while incarcerated, I knew that if I'd ever gotten back out, because it is no guarantee, even if you're given a term of sentence such as mine, you can easily lose your life in prison. So it was no guarantee of coming home or being released. But during those 15 years, I always knew that I was going to complete my education. I didn't necessarily know the strategic plan of that, but I absolutely knew that I was going to finish education. So in 2004, I was released from incarceration. I had another additional 2 years to complete for parole, being on parole. So for those 2 years of being under the parole board's jurisdiction, but quote unquote free, that's when I started the strategy of the how to. I always knew, as I mentioned, if I got back out, it wasn't a plan B on if I was going to complete school. It was always a plan A through Z. I'm completing school. And because I had been gone for 15 years, everything had changed. So in that respect, I needed to learn how to register, how to deal with financial aid, how to deal with student loans that I knew that I was going to need to take, and how to coordinate working in addition to going to school. I knew during the 15 years of incarceration, I had to figure out what it was about me that made me act in the way that I did violently. And I wanted to be able to have an assessment of that so I wouldn't repeat it. So in learning about myself and some of the things that were having me move the way that I was moving and or reacting the way that I was reacting, triggered the internal psychology pursuit and the external pursuit of social work. So for me, that 2 years of how to also gave me the direction on where to go as it relates to the credentialing that I wanted. Because we're housed here at this wonderful university, we definitely want to let men know that they belong here. But psychologically and as a social worker, I also know that we need to meet our learners where they are. So if you are not ready for a four-year university, but you're telling me that you want to continue on with your higher education, my question is, where is it that you want to go? And wherever that is that you want to go, we're going to try to help you get the resources to get there. One of the mainstays of our program, the Educational Transition Coordination Program, is the community resources that we're also attempting to wrap those services around the men that come home. Because this is a program that's housed at Wayne State University, the first thing we know what research has indicated is, if I don't have some place to stay, I'm not thinking about school. If I'm not working, I am not thinking about school. If I can't get from point A to point B, how can I even get to a school? And if I am suffering with substance abuse issues or mental health issues, school is not a priority. So our first thing is to let's do a needs assessment. Tell us what it is that you need. We do not know. Tell us what it is that you need so we can go out and find those needs and those resources for you first, and then we can talk about your education when you're ready. The program here and what I want for the future of the program is sustainability. I'd like for the state to use the model of Wayne State's ETC program and cast it throughout the state. That's one of the future goals that I have as the coordinator here. And in doing so, it can give men like me and women like me that deal with men and women that are reentering society, that have counseling skill sets and clinical skill sets, the availability to be able to help with the mental health portion. Because I've had lived experience and I opened up my own counseling, I opened that up because I was being told no by other agencies because of my lived experience. So I turned those no's into my own yes. I acquired my degrees and I got me the licensing that I needed, and I opened up my own. So now no one can tell me no. However, I am also the type of counselor that identifies with that mental health that men that are coming home need. So the future of the program requires people that have also lived the experience, because the rapport building is greater that way. So I hope that the program's model is sustained and is replicated throughout the entire state, hopefully throughout the entire nation. So, and as a counselor, be able to stabilize those men and women that are reentering society with that empathetic ear, but also that I know what you mean. And that can help a person get through a day when they know someone else has lived what they've lived and have come through it. So I think that the ETC program has future sustainability. My goal is to make sure that it's the model throughout the state.